Right. It's almost there. All right. Good morning and happy Thursday to everyone. I am excited to have you all join me. My name is Myra Shaw, and I am excited for you to join us. I am the leader of a vibrant community called Maiden Nation, which is really geared around high performing women leaders and business founders who are committed and committing, right, to lead well and live well. That's my theme for the year. We're going to lead well, but we're also going to live well. So these live streams are really an extension of the membership program that I'm kicking off this year called the Leadership Wellness Circle. I'll share a little bit more about that on the end, as well as we'll continue these types of conversations in April when the season 3 of the podcast will be launching. So I am super excited today. I have two amazing guests with me. Listen, we were already laughing and just having our joy moments on the backstage as we were preparing to come out with you guys. So we are really going to be sharing about fueling women leaders with the power of food and sleep. Listen, they go together. They go together. And I heard these two ladies share on a panel during Afrotech Week at the US Space, and they shared something. Listen, I know a lot of stuff about wellness for women right now, being that I'm, post 50. We not counting, but we are
Come
post
on.
50, right? And
Come on.
I immediately implemented it that night, that day. I'm like, I'm putting this into play. So we're definitely going to give that strategy to you. So join me as our welcome phenomenal guest, Jenai Tidwell and LaShasta Bale. I'm going to let both of them introduce themselves, but we're really going to focus on food choices. I mean, we think, this is an example. We just finished the holiday season. I was so happy Monday, the holidays were over because
Mm.
when I'm
Yeah.
cooking at home, I don't have a stomach ache, all the things. When I eat out 2 or 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
my whole body is like, ma'am, what are you doing? And why are you doing it? So for more than anything, I was having holidays were over so I could just, not that, I get tired of cooking, but my whole body is so much happier when I know what I'm putting in my food.
Yeah.
Therefore, my body responds, my sleep responds, my focus, all of those things. So without further ado, ladies, LaShasta, let's start with you. Introduce yourself, tell the people all about you, and then Janae will let you do the same, and then we'll get rolling with this conversation.
Hey, hey, hey. So it's your sleep strategist here. And my job, my passion, my goal is to help you learn how to go to sleep, to just teach you to go to bed. I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm a certified sleep science coach and a certified corporate wellness coach. All that to say that no matter where I go, who I'm with, individual, small group to corporate, I'm teaching folk how to go to sleep.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Teaching people how to go to sleep. Listen, I'm going to stay in your class because sometimes it gets off target.
Like a class we all need to take. And
Yes.
I am Jen Tidwell. So glad to be here with you guys. I am the bottom line boss. And the bottom line is we have to be paying attention to what it is that we are consuming, what we are eating, what we're listening to, what our eyes are taking in, because all of that is going to affect how we live and lead, to take the words from our wonderful host here. If we are not conscious of that, then how we live and how we lead, it's going to suffer. and we're going to have issues. And so I'm always working with clients and groups, also in corporate settings, to teach people how to live and lead more efficiently, more effectively, and with more endurance.
I love it. I love it. And I love that, we can talk about being great leaders, great founders, great business owners, all of these things. But really, if we are not taking care of ourselves, I always use the phrase, if the captain of the ship goes down, then
Come
who's
on.
going to man the ship? Like,
That,
we can't be the best leader and we're neglecting taking care of ourselves. I mean, I guess that was a practice that was active, in the past, but we've come to
yeah.
realize that does not work for us.
It does not.
Right. It does not. And you're right. And people like to say, you can't pour from an empty cup. But I say, yes, you can. You pour air and it gives somebody dis-ease, aka gas. So it's a level
Wow.
of discomfort that takes place. So your discomfort, now you've poured that discomfort into someone else because your cup wasn't full enough. You didn't have anything in there but air. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
you can pour, and how many of us have seen it? The leader is not in a good place, they're not taking care of their health, but they're still at work trying to lead the team, and then now the team is falling apart person by person, and they're wondering like what's going on? Well, the leader is sick. The
Oh,
cup is empty. You're
yeah.
pouring air.
Wow. I like that you say you can pour from an empty cup. It's not beneficial, but you can pour, right?
Yep.
She said, "Come through gas." My God.
Dis-ease, just so they understand what the dis-ease is, that uncomfortableness, and we've all experienced it, so it's
Yeah.
relatable. It's like
Yeah.
exactly what I mean and how it feels when I break it down to that point, because that's literally what we do, especially as women. We will keep
Yep.
going and going and going, and every relationship becomes tainted
Mm.
because we're
Wow.
not checking in with ourselves.
Wow. I love that every relationship becomes tainted because we're not on top of our own self-awareness. Wow. Listen, don't let me get distracted. Y'all keep me on task because listen, this information as a leader and a business CEO and a solopreneur. Listen,
Mm.
if I don't get nothing else, I have to take care of me. And as business owners, we have so many things on our plate. If you're a corporate professional and you're in management, all the things, we feel like if we stop, if we slow down, it's all going to fall apart. But if that's the foundation you've built stuff on, it's just the wrong foundation. We cannot set ourselves up for the failure that's going to come because we're going to run like LaShasta said, the cup is really going to be empty and we're going to be pouring gas out. We're not even created to sustain these
Yeah.
crazy levels of hyperactivity that we try to give. So, Jenai, let's start with this. How can food affect our energy and productivity? We know the things like you eat a burger and some fries, your energy levels like wonk wonk wonk, right?
It is.
But
Yep.
what are some other ways that food, like the things we put into our bodies, is
Yeah.
affecting not just our energy and productivity, but the ability to focus. If you're not fueling that properly, I mean, we get frustrated, we can't focus, but some of that is what we're intaking.
Absolutely, it is. And I don't think a lot of times people don't put the two together. We often think, I'm tired, I need coffee. Like
Oh,
Mm.
that's the normal thing most people think, right? Like I need a coffee, I need an energy drink, I need more caffeine or more pick me up. But honestly, you can start in a very different way and have sustained energy by choosing the right foods and the right things to intake. So I often teach, think about eating the rainbow. And LaShasta loves when I talk about this. This is one
yes.
of her favorites. Think about eating the rainbow. So there's a reason why all of these foods are different colors. They bring different nutrients that we need, our body needs, and our brain needs. So if you find that you are craving a certain food, it could be whatever nutrient is there. Your body's saying, "Hey, we need that. We need the omega 3s that are in that. We need the antioxidants that are in the blue foods. We need the vitamins that are in the red foods." So pay attention to what your body is telling you. But a lot of times we want comfort. And so comfort will lead us to foods that are brown and beige and Off-white. If you think about all the comfort foods that we like, right? They fit in that one little category. Everybody's got khaki in food color. Fried this, potato that,
Khakis.
other, it's all various shades of khaki. Like we all want, and so I'm trying to get everybody, let's get out of that, because what that's really going to do is increase sugar levels. Starches are break down into sugar, right? Alcohol breaks down into sugar. Pastas and breads, they break down into sugar. So we're consuming a lot of carbs that break down into sugar. And we are big kids. I say if you give a 2-year-old a whole bunch of sugar, we all know what's about to happen.
Right.
And nobody wants to be there in 30 to 45 minutes. And nobody wants to be around when it goes down, right? We're the same way. And we may not throw ourselves on the floor and tantrum, but you're going to snap at your coworker. You're going to go off on your partner. You're going to send that email with a snippy tone. And it's going to then make the relationships, as LaShasta said, the relationships in your life suffer. So eat the rainbow and hydrate.
Eat the rainbow and hydrate. I love listen, and that's something we can visualize. Eat the
Yeah.
rainbow. It's so funny when I'm cooking dinner. I try to make sure there's definitely something green on the plate and all these things. And listen, I love my husband, but when he sees something too green, he's like, Myra, what is that? What is that? Trust me, I'm only giving you good stuff. I give you good stuff. So you said something about, I love the idea with less khaki food, khaki colored, eat the
Yeah.
rainbow. Like we can
Eat the
visualize that, we can see that. That makes
yeah.
sense. That
Yes,
Yeah.
makes
that's
sense.
that's why I love it. Like I absolutely love it. Now the khaki is new. Now I'm gonna be looking at my food and tell this is khaki. It's gonna make me not even want to eat it, because who really walk
Right,
around wearing khaki?
right.
Khakis is what I'm thinking about. We wear the color, but absolutely. So I was having a training the other day, and I chimed in because I love sharing what I know, especially when it's good information. And I mentioned about eating a rainbow, and I was like, even if I'm prepping a burger or something, if I have red bell pepper and yellow bell pepper in the refrigerator, let me go ahead and slice up some of those and have it on the side, and with a little bit of ranch. Go ahead and judge me, Jenai, because I'm a work in progress. It's
Look,
white, it's not khaki, you
hey, look.
know.
Okay.
But just to throw it in there, because I could have
Yeah,
had a whole half a plate of French fries, but instead now I'm decreasing the French fry. Even if a lot of times I'm subbing it out for sweet potato fries,
yeah,
and then throwing in a little bit of cucumber or whatever color is in the refrigerator to go with that
yeah,
burger.
yeah. I love it. And it's making those small choices. One of the things that I
Yeah.
started doing last year, shout out to LaShana Leonard Moore, who's my health and wellness coach, of eating with a veggie starter or a salad. So
Mm.
what that
Mm-hmm.
does is the veggies or the salad first, especially listen if you do some type of vinegar based dressing, a vinaigrette of some sort, that keeps one your sugar spikes from just going up and off the chart,
Yes,
and
it
of
does.
course you're filling your belly with something that's nutritious. You're eating the rainbow
Uh-huh.
first, so then you're not feeling like you need to eat the whole burger in one setting. Maybe you eat half and then
Mm-hmm.
half for your snack, right? So
Yep.
I think it's those little bitty changes. And listen, we've been eating, I'm just gonna say it wrong, for a long time.
I think we have just taken our culture and the generations, that we have been given and passed down, and we all know that in the back in the day, we were given the not so great portions of the food,
Yes.
and we made it work, right? And that is
Yep.
what
Mm-hmm.
we, as our culture did. We were very,
Yep.
um, we made it work. We were very
Yep.
creative in what we could do, and we made that stuff taste good. And so now we're here and we are reteaching ourselves how to expand that palette. And that's huge, because what it's going to do over time as we do that, we'll see, you know 20, 30, 40 years down the road, that this is something that our entire generation is learning from, just because we begin to make these small changes of eating a salad or eating some vegetables first,
Right.
and ensuring that we then come with our meat or in our starch. And hear me, I got ranch on the side too. Okay, hear me.
Yeah.
Nobody and everything has to leave. No one says all or nothing. But if we begin
Mm-hmm.
with the small changes and we do it in moderation, yes, we are going to see the benefit of it and our future selves and our future generations. It just multiplies over time.
Yeah, I love that you're saying the changes we make today, and maybe we don't even see the immediate benefits today, right?
Yeah.
But if you stay consistent with these changes, your future self is going to thank you. I remember when my husband and I have raised four young adults, and when the older two were in junior high, I made a big switch from whites to browns, from white pasta to wheat pasta and all these things. We stopped red meat, with ground turkey and all this stuff. I never made an announcement about it to the family. Because why? Why am I even torturing
Mm-hmm.
myself with that? Because then it's going to be this
Right.
tastes funny and this. I never made an announcement
That
about it.
part.
And the people went right on and still thought it was the greatest thing in the world. It all
They,
worked out. But here is the benefit when our young people started going off to college, and the oldest one, he meal prepped, he likes real food, then they bought the things that I had switched to. Oh mom, what type of pasta was it
That's
that you
it.
bought? Oh mom, you didn't buy the
Uh-huh.
ground meat, you bought ground turkey, right? Like what brand?
Yeah.
So when you talk about our future generations, right, because I made those changes
yeah.
when they were in their teens, it is now carried through to them as adults having their own apartments and houses and all these things. Because I made that change, now they're, especially the old, he would be in San Antonio, girl, in HEB calling me. Mom, what was the? I'm like, son, I'm gonna need you to send me a list beforehand. I can't walk with you through the grocery store.
In HEB.
In HEB. So I love that you talk about those future generations,
Yeah.
how we're affecting that change, right? And one of those things, women are so powerful, right? When
Mm,
we make certain changes, and not that the woman is the primary cook in every home, I
sure.
am in my home, but whomever is handling the food, when they make
Mm-hmm.
healthy choices and decisions, then that spreads through the family. The
It
family's
absolutely.
going to make those decisions because, nobody else was going to cook a meal like, well, I want red meat. No,
Yeah.
they weren't interested in cooking. They were interested in sitting down and eating what I had prepared.
Yeah.
So I love that
Exactly.
these choices that we're making, eating the rainbow, staying hydrated,
Yeah.
these are decisions that, when your child, your little one that was running around LaShasta when we were on the phone, he's going to know, oh, these are the things that I eat. I love the rainbow
Yes.
because that's what he's
And
been presented with.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And I was going to say, like, epigenetics is real, and, it's a passing of genetic material. And we always want to think about it like trauma and character traits, but it's all things. Because my baby will not eat a chicken nugget from McDonald's. I have
Oh,
not eaten from McDonald's in probably 10, 12 years. And
yeah.
so his dad took him one time to try, and he was like, no, like, that's not it. So if it's not an organic chicken nugget, he'll do Chick-fil-A. But outside of
Okay.
that, no, he's not gonna deal with it. And it's like, okay, that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we want, but it's not convenient when you need a quick little something and HEB out of all the organic chicken nuggets, right?
Right.
But
Right.
it's an example of whatever you put in there and put out in that space. That's what's going to come back. Even my big boy, when I took him grocery shopping, because I started doing the every plate meals where I don't have to have the guesswork. All
Ah,
the stuff is in there,
yeah.
whatever, whatever. A lot of the recipes just call for salt and pepper,
Ah.
and they'll have some other little season packs, but no Tony's for sure. And
Love
so
some Thomas.
then, right. So then when I take my big son to the grocery store, he's like, "Mom, what seasonings you use? Like, what about this and what about that?" He's not reaching for Tony's,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means there's that sodium that he's not going to intake.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
it's
again, it's
definitely a real
hearing
thing.
us, and leaders hear us say this. We mentioned the ranch. And no one's saying that you've got to get rid of everything that you had on your plate and it all has to be done right now, today. No, no one's saying that. But when you can take small incremental
Mm-hmm.
steps, when
Yeah.
you remember, eat the rainbow, eat less khaki. Listen,
That's it.
Now we
That's
cannot
it.
unsee that. We cannot unsee that.
That's it.
Cannot unsee it. And I like to say we try to for consistently good over occasionally perfect.
Say that again. Say that again.
Try for consistently good over occasionally perfect. Because if
I
we're
love
trying
that.
to be perfect, it's not going to be consistent. But if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like, let me be consistently good by having part of the rainbow in every meal. And some meals are harder to achieve the rainbow than others. Because
Yeah.
I started exploring being gluten free back in May, and Jenai is the motivation and inspiration. And I'm texting like, Lord, breakfast is hard gluten free. What am I supposed to eat? She told my
That's
fruits. I said, that's not a meal. Like what? So either I have to be prepared ahead of time, or no, like let me shop around, try some things. I found an amazing gluten-free waffle, frozen waffle. So when I do want that bready moment, I can pop
Right.
that waffle in. But outside of that, it's like, okay, boiled eggs. There's so many different things that you can do in the morning. It just takes a little bit more thought of going
Yeah.
beyond what you usually grab for, which, like
Right.
Jenai said, a lot of folks just grabbing for a cup of coffee. They're not even feeding their brain in
uh,
the morning, and you want it to work for you.
yeah.
Now, let me touch on something about this morning routines. I have definitely discovered that if I do not properly fuel in the morning with enough protein, I am chasing hunger all day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
all day. And where it shows up the most is at 8:35 p.m. It's late. And my body's like, we're hungry. And I'm like, we cannot be hungry. We have had all the food we need to have today. But I truly found when I start with a good protein filled breakfast, and listen, I'm going to have my room temperature glass of water and my 1 cup of coffee. Bless God. I need it. I want it. I like the warmth
That's
of
it.
it, all the things.
That's
But
it.
I'm going to have a really high protein breakfast, and I don't feel like I'm hungry all day, even after I eat. Like, it's like within an hour, my body's like, we're hungry. I'm like, look, girl, if you don't sit down, we just fed you. What are you talking about? It's the protein. It's starting with the right breakfast. And one of the things I heard was have savory over sweet for
Yes.
sure for
Yes.
breakfast. Savory over sweet because the
Mm-hmm.
sugar. Listen, our brains is we just
the,
no.
the sugar is the devil. I love it.
It
I
is.
love
I
it.
know.
And before this end, I'm pretty sure Janae gonna tell people what I love. I mean, I'm okay with that. But it's the devil. Like
It,
it serves no good purpose for the things that we need as leaders. Now, if
Yeah.
you talking about comfort food and I'm sad and
Yeah.
emotionally eating, okay, cool. And people say don't emotionally eat, but let's be honest, we came into this world learning to be emotional eaters. Our mamas
Yeah.
fed us from wherever they fed us from,
And
and it was warm
say
and fuzzy and
and.
all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So it has a purpose at some points and times, but yeah, not in the morning, not in the evening.
right. Yeah.
Woo!
Those two times. Oh my gosh. Yes. And so I think when we think of breakfast, we think of sweet. We pancakes and muffins and
And
scones
waffles.
and waffles, right? And
But I put organic honey on my waffles, so I'm gonna let y'all know. And real butter. We're not doing
The margarines and
with
whatnot.
ancient mom and whoever. What is it? Pearl
Yeah.
Mills now. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not doing
Right.
that. We're just
yes,
doing
Yeah.
little honey drizzles because I'm shooting for consistently good.
that's it.
I love it.
That's,
And giving yourself that consistently good is giving yourself grace. All of these things are not going to happen overnight. But
no.
again, small baby steps. As the leaders, the powerful leaders we are and want to be, again, this is about taking care of you as a whole person. As a
Yeah.
whole person. And again, this is not about perfection because some days throw the whole thing away. I skip the whole breakfast because I feel like I'm busy and doing what I do. And then at
Mm-hmm.
noon, I'm starving and I eat the whole plate of whatever I'm eating. And then I'm tired at 2:30. Like the whole day, it's a hot mess. It
It happens.
happens.
It
It happens.
absolutely
I
happens.
just simply hit the reset button for the next day and move on with my journey. Listen,
That's
move
it.
on with the journey. That's it.
It's
You
a
have
it,
to that we have to give ourselves grace. Like it,
Yeah.
no one else is coming to give that grace, to extend that grace. And if you stay preoccupied with what you're doing wrong, which I
Yeah.
kind of try not to subscribe to right or wrong, good or bad,
Right.
because then it creates more emotional connection. If I eat the khaki, now I ate bad, versus, I ate khaki, let me do something different in the next meal to produce different results.
Yeah.
And if you have that 2:30 crash or whatever, it's like, okay, I crashed. Let me take a quick little nap. Let me take a
Listen.
nap that's no more than 26 minutes.
Please
And
share, please share with the people about these power naps, because listen, they are blessing my life.
look, if you need them, then it needs to be less than 26 minutes. And the reason why is because once you sleep more than 26 minutes, but not up to 90 minutes, your brain is not going through the cycles of sleep that it needs to go through to give you what you're looking for. So some of us will take a nap, or some of y'all, because it ain't me. I'm just saying,
Oh
we'll take a
gosh.
nap and it'll be 30, 35 minutes, and you wake up feeling worse than
Yeah,
when you went to
groggy.
sleep. And it's like that nap served no purpose. It would have served a purpose if it would have been under 26 minutes or less. I used to live on a power nap when I was working full time in education as a school counselor, building my
Okay.
private practice while having a son that was 5, 6 years old, and basketball and football and piano and all of those things. So when I would leave the school setting to go into the private practice setting, I had about an hour or so. So I would get him settled in, get him some snacks, start his homework, and then I would set my timer. And this was before I was a sleep expert. I would set my
Wow.
timer for like 10, 15 minutes. And when I tell you, I woke up feeling like a brand new person, where I could switch gears from going school counseling, which is not clinical, to doing clinical work for 3 more hours in the evening. So my day would start at 5 something in the morning and would end to like 7, 8 at night, 3 days a week for 3 years. And
Wow.
I still look like this.
Come through, sis. Come
I
through.
know that that was a thing, but I remember telling friends in college, I need 5 minutes to go to sleep, 5 minutes to be asleep, and 5 minutes to wake up. I used to do 15-minute power naps since I was in college. And
Okay.
thank you, LaShasta. All the science behind it makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love a good power nap. Now I was a person that was against naps until about 12 months ago. Listen, when I need a nap, I listen to my body and I take the nap. Definitely less than 26 minutes. Because if it's
Good.
more than that, I like throw the whole day away. My brain has
Mm-hmm.
shut down and it is quite over. Let's switch over to talking about the sleep and this rest, right? So LaShasta, I want you to, because I think people use the word interchangeably, sleep and
They
rest,
do.
but there is a difference. So let's start with talking about what's even the difference between sleep and rest.
So sleep is a biological process, and they do use it interchangeably. And if you are one that do, I'm judging you. Please stop. Um, because after I say this, you're now have the information and you're responsible to do something different. Like it's your responsibility to correct the next person who uses it interchangeably. But the sleep is a really a biological process. We want to think that when we sleep that we're resting, but when you're asleep, the brain and body is still working. That's the reason why you need the 7 to 9 hours so that it does its full job. And people are like, oh, I'm good on 4, I'm good on 5. That's like showing up at work and say, I can do this 8 hour job in 4 hours, and that's it. They only give you 4 hours and they expect you to produce 8 hours of work. You're gonna be like, no, I don't want to work here no more. Let me go draw my unemployment. But that's what we do to our bodies. That's what we do to our brains. So when we're sleeping, there's muscle recovery that's taking place, digestion situations happening. The brain is processing the memories and emotions of the day. And what I tell leaders is the moment we get stressed, the first thing that messes up is your sleep. And
Mm,
that's the one thing
does.
that you need to protect and cultivate and prioritize to get through the stressors.
Right.
Because when we stress, our body is releasing what, dopamine? No, what are we releasing? Cortisol. That's the
Yeah.
word. And it's not designed to, your brain's not designed to release that ongoingly. So when you go to
Ah,
sleep, it's recovering, it's re-upping. So it's a whole biological process that's taking place. It's work. Sleep is
okay,
work.
It is.
okay,
And
Now rest. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and there are different things that are happening throughout the stages of the night, just to add to that, right? So you're like, oh, well, maybe I did half of all the biological processes in 4 hours.
okay.
No, you didn't.
You did
You
not.
did two of the eight biological processes
Ah,
you need to do. And so if you miss out on those latter hours, those biological processes just don't happen.
wow, wow.
And the sleep
Yeah.
stages. So we talk about the sleep stages. You have light sleep and dream sleep and deep sleep. And those are the common names. If y'all want the tech names, Google them. I'm just giving you what you need to understand. So there
Okay.
are times we need so much time in deep sleep. We
Yeah.
need so much time in the dream phase. We need so much time in the light sleep. And honestly, the light sleep phase is typically the longest,
Oh
and
wow.
that's okay, you know. And so you need all of those cycles in and out, and it's so many minutes that you're there, then you go to the next one, so many minutes, and that's how you end up needing that 7 to 9. So the brain is doing this thing with the stages of sleep along with processing memories and learning of the day. The body is doing this thing. We're talking about muscles and blood vessels, and I didn't go to med school for a little while. Jenai did, so she can piggyback on all that part of the science, because I'm here about your
Right.
mental. I'm
Right.
here about your mental, and so when we don't get that amount of sleep, I like to tell people you end up waking up with an emotional hangover.
Oh wow. Because it
And
hasn't been cleaned up.
It's been cleaned up.
Wow.
because you didn't
Okay.
have enough time. When people are like, oh, I woke up on this wrong side of the bed. No, you didn't sleep long enough. And so whatever you felt yesterday is still lingering today.
Yeah.
That's why I like to
Wow.
tell college kids, don't cram and try to study all night. Go to sleep, because then your brain gets to process what you study. If you stay up all night and sleep for 3 hours, you may as well went ahead and went outside and kicked it with the people,
Okay.
because your time would have been better served.
At least
Gotcha.
fun, and you would have had some
Right.
serotonin and some dopamine and some, like at least that would have happened because,
At least
Right.
that would have happened. So
yeah.
it would have decreased the
Right.
angst and the stress of the test. But when you try to stay up all
Okay.
night and not get enough sleep, the brain doesn't have time to process what you studied anyway.
No.
Wow. Listen, that's deep. That is deep. Listen, we have not understood sleep properly for
Right.
so long. Like this is crazy. And again, post 45, post 40, the sleep, sleep is so important. Like I need efficient sleep because
Mm.
that's the reset. That's the refuel.
That's Yes. And now the rest is where we get to recover. It's
Mm-hmm.
where we are strengthened. People like, Lord, give me strength to carry on. Just rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rest is, and biblically, I'm a guy's girl, so I'm gonna give it to the other guy's girl. It's all throughout the Bible, examples
Yes.
of how he took rest and different types of rest, from social rest to mental rest, and understanding that it looks different for everyone. It could be sitting in silence, could be resting. It could be going for a walk in nature, it could be resting. Rest is literally whatever you are doing to take a break from the hustle and the bustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is considered your rest. But here's the thing, it starts up here. It's not about what the physical body does, because people are like, oh, I go to the nail shop, I go get my hair done, and da 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 da, that makes me feel good. But if in your mind you're thinking about what's for dinner, what I got to get from HEB, what person I got to fire next week, that is not rest, nor is it self care. It's just maintenance.
Gotcha. Maintenance. Yeah, which listen, we're not advising that you skip your maintenance, but just
Please don't.
understand
Please don't.
it's not rest. Maintenance is maintenance. Rest is rest, and now we are clear that sleep is sleep. So three different categories, and we need all of it. We
Yeah.
need all
We,
of
we,
it.
need, we,
Um,
we need all of it.
LaShasta, tell us how we can cultivate our sleep. Now, it sounds like an oxymoron that you might be saying, cultivate your sleep from the moment you wake up. You're preparing your body for sleep. What does that mean for us?
Yeah.
So I love to say that and explain it. It means everything you do throughout the day is conducive to a good quality night of sleep.
Yeah.
What you listen to, what you eat, how
Yeah.
you think, the ability to reframe your thoughts when the negative thoughts come up, how you engage with people, how you disengage with people. Because some people cannot ring my phone after about 6 o'clock in the evening
Period.
because I don't know what the shenanigans is, but I do know it might be shenanigans that disrupt my path that I've already
Ah,
cultivated to a good night's sleep.
Very good.
I love
So
it. I love it. I love it. Setting the boundary to protect my sleep. Now, you like you said, it could be 6 p.m., but I'm already headed toward a good productive sleep pattern, and I just cannot allow it to be interrupted. I love that. Listen, I start I call it downshift process in the evening by like 8 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
amen.
because I'm a bath person. So I like to be in the bathtub by 8:30. I could be there for 30 minutes. I could be there for an hour.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's just I say I'm running in fifth gear and I've got to come down to fourth, come down to third, come down. I can't just go from fifth gear to sleep.
Yep.
I've tried that. That does not work for me, for anybody, right?
That's right, because sleep
I gotta
hygiene is a
bring,
whole thing.
yeah,
Yep.
bring that process down so that then, and this is the tidbit we're going to wrap up on before I have you ladies share any events or services you're coming up with the year. So when I heard these two wonderful ladies speak on this panel, and someone brought up a question about the 2:30 a.m., 3:30 a.m. wake up time, and listen, that was my life. It would happen 3 4 days, then I'd be able to sleep, and we back at it. And they shared a strategy that when I say I implemented that night, like that day, same night, and slept all night. And it is now a part of my sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene.
Yes.
Um, so I want you to talk about what is it that women, and maybe men, if they wake up, I don't know any man that tells me he wakes up at 2:30 in the morning. That's for some reason that's a woman thing. Um,
Yeah.
what can we do to help manage that? And why are we waking up at 2:30 anyway? Now, this is assuming you're not stressed out, all of those things. Because I wasn't waking up because I was stressed out. I'm not. I was not.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's causing us to wake up 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning? And what can we do to manage that? My goodness.
Okay,
So
so first, before we jump into that, I
Yes.
just need you to run it back for the people because what I heard you say is your ROI was
Listen,
less than 24 hours, is what I heard
less
you say. So what I
immediately.
need the people to understand is we're not playing with y'all when we
Yes.
say the ROI is instantaneously
Instant.
if you choose to implement. Like it's
Yeah.
real. It's real.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I
I just
just
wanted
wanted
to
to lay that out there.
yeah.
I just had to make sure they understood what you were
Yeah.
saying, that like
Yeah.
you made the decision to go home that night.
That night.
And when you woke up the next morning, you felt differently than you had before, or you did
Yeah.
not wake up in the middle of the night. It didn't take
I
two
did not.
weeks. It didn't take NyQuil.
Same night.
It didn't
Oh
take
no.
Unison. It didn't take
Yeah.
Benadryl. Oh, okay. All
No.
right.
Because I can't
I just
take
wanted to
that
make
and wake
sure.
up and be ready. My
And be
brain's being a fog. I'm like, what?
come on. That
I
part.
can't think.
Thank you. Thank
I
you so
slept all night, but I woke up and I'm like,
thank you so very much.
who am
Yes.
I? And what
Right.
am I
Right.
supposed to be doing? Yeah, I
Right.
can't do the
Yeah.
drugs. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Jenai.
from a food perspective, from an intake perspective, what may be happening is you're having a blood sugar dip. So we eat, and we know we're not supposed to eat right before we go to bed. You're supposed to eat, sometime before so that your body has time to digest. And if you do, again, some of those processes that LaShasta is talking about don't get to efficiently happen because your body
Right.
is trying to digest food that should have been digested a long time ago. So you go to sleep, and about 2, 3 o'clock, your body's like, hey, guess what? We don't have any blood sugar. This is a crisis. So you need to wake up and you need to fix this. And it spikes to say, hey, guess what? Need you to go do this. So your blood sugar dips, it spikes your cortisol. You wake up and you're trying to figure out what is what, and they talking about it's the God hour or it's this is the Wiccan
Witching
hour.
hours and all. Girl.
Yeah, and this is where the spiritual, warfare takes place. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a God's girl,
Yeah.
and so it could be happening, but it also could be that your body is saying your blood sugar is low. So Eat a little before go to bed. Now, this is not me giving you permission for the midnight snack of ice cream and Snickers.
To be
Okay,
clear.
to be clear,
To be clear.
what we are eating is maybe a small cheese and crackers or a handful of nuts. I want it to be more protein focused than carbohydrate focused. So a small protein snack. Carrots and hummus. That's my go-to sometimes. Or even I do a cup of tea and some small fruit. Berries is what we want to do. We don't want to do bananas or melon. That's too sugary, right? So berries and a cup of tea. And what that will do is allow your blood sugar to be maintained throughout the night so that you do not spike in cortisol and get woken up, and you can make it to your 8 hours of sleep.
Yes, I love it. What do you want to add to that, LaShasta?
So I agree. It's not the Jesus hour. That's not in the Bible. Stop it. Um, I'm just saying, but we will rationalize all of the maladaptive behavior some way somehow to make it feel better.
Yeah.
If you know that you ate well and it's not a hunger thing, it's a simple you've trained your brain in such a way that you keep waking up the same time. And people be like, what you mean? Okay, so when I was pregnant a couple years ago, yeah, y'all know I was.
She's
So
like, don't judge me.
She was.
I got to like the second trimester, whatever it was. I was further along. Women say I got to get up and go to the bathroom. The baby's on my bladder. I did that one night, and then I had a conversation with my body, with my baby, and my bladder because well, it's not necessary. I'm like, bladder, you've been doing this for a long time, and you've been down this road before. So I'm gonna need you to figure out, and we're gonna hold it. It's the same thing when you wake up that first time at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Lay there for a couple minutes. Don't roll over and grab your phone. Don't turn the TV on. Don't turn the lights on. Just take a moment, lie there with your breath, do some deep breathing. After about 5 minutes, if you don't feel yourself going back to sleep, then okay, disconnect from the bed, maybe walk around a little bit. Don't do anything that will put light in your eyes, so to speak, to send a signal to your brain that it's time to be awake. But a lot of times you wake up in the middle of the night, you grab your phone, you turn the TV on. So the next night, guess what? The brain is going to say, hey, it's time to get up. We need to
Time
watch
to
Golden
party.
Girls. And then it becomes a consistent thing to the point that now it's a habit
Yeah.
that you don't know how to break, and you think like, oh well, this is just going to be, so if I'm up, I may as well make good use of the time and pray. No, go back to bed, because the Lord said go to sleep. He
Yeah.
said to make sure your body, that you take your body and make sure it's a living sacrifice, and your temple is good. Your temple is not good if you're not sleeping 7 to 9 hours, and not in the bed but actually asleep. Because some people
Yeah.
get in the bed and turn their TV on, get their laptop, and it ain't but two things that need to be in y'all bed.
Yeah.
Two, sleep and sex. That's it. That's the only two things you should be doing.
End. The end. You know what?
The end.
What I did, I literally palm. I took a palm full of mixed nuts, unsalted, not roasted, mixed
Yes.
nuts with I don't know. I buy the big blueberries from HEB, maybe 6 blueberries.
Yes.
Ate
Yeah.
that, done. I slept all night. Slept. I was like,
But just
is
like
it?
pinch my pearls.
I said, that's
Lord,
Did
that's
she?
all it took.
nuts. That's all it took. And the
Oh,
crazy thing is, I wore a continuous glucose monitor earlier in the year, paid for it out of pocket, blah, blah, blah. But it was showing a dip, a big dip. I didn't even know how to relate that to sleep. I was just like, oh, my sugar dips at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, well, it dips. I
yeah.
didn't know to take that piece of data and say,
Something
this
with
is
that.
why you're working up because your glucose level has gotten
Mm-hmm.
too low. Listen, I heard them speak on a Saturday. That Saturday night, I had a palm full of nuts and about 5 or 6 blueberries. I slept all night. I slept all night. I didn't have to have them. And I'm not against magnesium glycinate. It works. I use it for different things. But
Absolutely.
it
Mm-hmm.
was literally nuts and the blueberries, and I slept all night. That's
And
it. And now my
That's
husband
it.
would be like, "Did you eat your nuts?"
my husband.
Because he
Come
wants you
on,
to
come
sleep.
on, accountability, because he wants you to be. He
He
know what
wants you
it's
to
like
sleep.
for you
Yes,
not to sleep and sleep
he
well.
knows. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
And it's
don't
like,
want that. He don't want that the
you don't
next
want that.
morning.
He's like, did you eat what you were supposed to? You know what? I forgot. Let me go. Let me get up. Let me get
Come
up.
on,
Yeah,
man.
I love
I
it.
love that.
I love it. I love it. Ladies, share with the audience anything you have coming up this year or in Q1 or, next
Ooh.
coming months that, again, that they can participate in, be a part of, all of those things. Because, listen, again, my goal is to help build powerful women leaders that are whole, WHOLE, in
Yeah.
every area of our lives. And so that takes things from me, from LaShasta, from Jenai. It takes a community of support. So share with us anything that you have coming up. Jenai,
Go
let's
ahead,
start with you.
Janae.
Okay, I'm gonna say who's gonna go first. So, currently, I've been working on some corporate training events, and so that's been a lot of my focus in Q1. I do hope to start doing some more social media learnings and podcasts and things like that in Q2. So, if you're needing another guest out there, any podcast hosts, give me a call. But I also am going to be ramping up some things online to do some more education because people just do not understand that they can consume themselves to wellness.
Oh,
They
wow.
know that we can do it to our detriment. We know that we can
For
eat
sure.
ourselves to illness, but we can also consume ourselves to wellness. And so look for that in Q2 for me on my social media. I am Jenai T is the handle across all social media platforms.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. What you got, LaShasta?
Ooh, what I don't have. No. So I am also, continuing with education and sleep and stress management and those things. Um, be on the lookout for my book to drop in March. So at the top of Q2 or at the end of Q1. Yes. Don't sleep on don't sleep on sleep. You can also follow me on social media. I have a speaking next week with Gatherverse. She superhero engine about women and mental health. Then at the end of the month, there's mastermind parties that I'm going to be part of and a guest speaker. So those are just a couple of things that I have going. You might be able to catch me in LA next month on a panel and
Okay.
speaking. So just trying to help the people go to bed.
And
And
listen,
if you need me
we received
with
it.
business therapy, that's what I use for the leaders, where I teach them how to utilize their tools and to be the best version of themselves. Of course, we talk about sleep and rest, no doubt, but I also like to plug them into the resources that they need so that they can cultivate their sleep. So solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, C-suite women, y'all holler at me. I got you in 2025.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Listen, I am super grateful and thankful for you ladies to join me today. Again, when I
Thank you.
met both of you during Afro Tech Week, I was like, "Oh, this is done. We're a thing. We're gonna get together and share the
Yeah.
information with the people." Because again,
Uh,
immediately implementable information. Immediately, right? We don't have to. You don't have to go watch 10 YouTube videos and 8 live streams. Like, they gave the tips and the strategies, boom, you put it into place. Okay?
Yeah.
Rest and sleep are not the same. Your body's going through some cycles to clean up what you've done for the day. Don't eat
that's
the
it.
khaki food so much. Eat the rainbow. Like, these are things you can immediately. Today is Thursday, the ninth day of the brand new year. And you already
Mm-hmm.
have some things, small bites, that you can implement to be a more powerful leader. Listen, LaShasta and Jenai, thank you so very much. Don't worry, ladies, I'll drop all of their connection links in the notes under this broadcast. You'll be able to catch the replay on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and we'll share all of their information.
Oh, someone said they need to know what you got brewing.
Oh, listen.
There
So
was
I am
Jennifer.
launching.
Hey, Jennifer.
Oh, listen, hey, Jennifer's on it. Jennifer is the sis over there. I am launching the Leadership Wellness Circle membership. We are marketing January through March. We will not have open enrollment all year. No, thank you. So the membership actually kicks off April 1st. Right now through January 15th, you can get $100 off of the membership. It's $4.99 for the year, so you can get it for $3.99 for the year now through January 15th. Drop me a message on LinkedIn, Instagram, any of those things. But I am excited to help powerful women leaders lead well, and live well. That is my goal for the year. So join us in 2 weeks, January 23rd. I'll have another live stream going here. Yeah, we're just going to keep this party going with giving. And thank you, me and one of my friends, Andre, joined us, but men and women, but predominantly women, keep joining us here. And thank you, ladies. Appreciate you so very much. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of your
you.
day.
You too. Bye bye.
Hold on, ladies.